Science fiction has got to be my favorite genre. I grew up on Ray Bradbury short stories. I just started a Spelljammer campaign, and the idea of exploring the stars still really intrigues me, which would make me an ideal customer for Galactic Cruise, the fictional company you play as in this game provided to us by Kinson Key Games. Now, Galactic Cruise is looking for a new CEO, and you've got a shot at the job. All you have to do is do pretty well within the company for the next 3 years, and you'll get the promotion. But you have to keep an eye out, as all of the other players at the table are competitors who are also vying for the job. Each turn, you'll have 2 workers that you'll place somewhere in the network, 6 connected spaces that have a variable duo of actions. The actions themselves aren't variable, but where they are and what actions they are adjacent to is. Take 2 actions that you're connected to, either by being on the space or by being connected through yours or others' developments. Those actions can range from getting supplies from the company silo or inventing new tech to building cruise spaceship segments. If you want to go somewhere that somebody else already has a worker, totally fine, but you will bump that worker back to its owner, giving them a free turn before they have to call a meeting, and giving them a free resource. All actions funnel eventually into launching a galactic cruise ship. You want to get as many cruises going as possible because every cruise is an eventual victory point. Once your ship is in space, you'll start your turn by advancing your ship 1 destination, which will give you a small reward if it's just a day in space, or a gaggle of victory points if it is a destination. There are a few different systems at play here, and for the most part, they are beautifully interwoven. The variable actions in the network every game creates a nice puzzle as you try to figure out how you can be the most efficient with your turns. And the resource gathering to make sure that you can actually launch your ship and have guests on there and get the most bang for your buck feels like a nice tightrope walk as you are trying to get everything you need first before your competitors. And the cruise launching itself lends a really nice ramp to the momentum of this game. It takes a lot of steps to get your first ship in the air, but when you do, it feels so good. Like, it feels like you've overcome this massive hurdle and all of the turns you've taken before this have finally paid off. And it's one of the best feelings that I've had in board games. And then you take a look around and notice that everybody else already has a ship in the air, and that they're actually getting ready to launch their second ship. And so you're like, I gotta pick up the pace. I gotta get more ships up there. Each successive launch feels a bit more accessible and easier to do. At first, though, it can be pretty daunting. When you first start the game, you're overwhelmed with possibilities. It's hard to make plans or see what's the right way forward since you kinda need to interact with all of the systems in play to launch a ship. You have to get gas, food, and oxygen to launch a cruise, but also you have to schedule a cruise and advertise to potential customers. But first, you should probably build some extra segments so you can fit as many customers as possible. And actually, it makes sense to build developments first so you have more flexibility as the game goes on to take the actions you want, but don't forget about your reputation or the company goals, or else someone else will take those victory points away from you. It takes a while to see how the systems come together, and because of that, this game is going to be frustrating for the first hour of gameplay for some people, and it's kind of hard to blame them. For a game that claims to take 90 minutes, being confused for an hour of that isn't great. I've also found this game runs much longer than the playtime listed. Unless you are only counting people actually taking their turns, it takes at least 15 minutes playing through for rules checks, at least 30 minutes of rules explanations if you're playing with somebody for the first time, and at least 10 minutes for setup. I will give Kinson Key Games the benefit of the doubt on setup though, because they put a lot of effort into making sure that setup was as smooth as possible. The insert in this game, other than some slight warping on the player boards, is exactly what I would have wanted for a game of this size and at this price point. And that's kind of par for the course. They put a lot of effort into making this game a premium experience. Sometimes, though, it kind of becomes too premium. The main board and player board feel premium, but they take up all of an average size table. The box and insert are sturdy and very well designed, but because of it, this box is kind of hard to find a place for on the shelf. The mechanics and systems are great and intertwined, but they're kind of hard to teach because of that, in some ways at least. And the game rewards you for learning with a 2 to 3 hour engaging experience. But it does take 2 to 3 hours to play this game. This game is hard to get to the table because it is a big commitment to play in terms of time and teaching. And this game is also hard to get to the table because it takes up all of the table. And I don't want Galactic Cruise to stray away from this premium experience because that's kind of its whole identity. But I do think that it's important for you to know that the reason this review has taken so long to do is because it's taken me so long to get it to the table enough times to form my opinions. And my opinions are this. Galactic Cruise is an excellent game. I love playing it, and I'm happy to get to the table every opportunity that I can. But I acknowledge that it's going to be few and far between because of the reasons I just stated. There isn't a lot in board gaming that I've seen that delivers the experience that Galactic Cruise has. It doesn't have any misses on the things it tries to do. There's a very clear vision of what this game is, and the publisher and designer have executed on that with aplomb. I don't want to fault them for that, but it is going to be difficult for me to recommend it to the average board gamer because of that. Board gaming as a hobby is a luxury, and Galactic Cruise, very fitting to its theme, is a shining example of that. I don't think everybody needs to own this game, and in fact, I think most people don't. But if you have the means and want a luxury experience, Galactic Cruise does a lot to justify its price point. I am very happy to have this game in my collection. And I think with that, it is kind of up to you to consider whether or not having one very big, luxurious game is going to be worth as much to you as 4 games that are a quarter of the price and a quarter of the enjoyment, but offer different, unique experiences. It's kind of hard to tell, but what I will say is Galactic Cruise fulfills its promise. It is a premium game, one of the best of the year, and it doesn't shy away from that fact.